Uncut, and I'm your host, a guy who is the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, John R. Heinis, and we're going to talk the latest and greatest in Hudson County news. So, first of all, let's talk about the lawsuit that has been heard well beyond Hoboken, but former Health and Human Services Director Leo Pellegrini has filed this explosive lawsuit making a ton of allegations that are talking about things ranging from quid pro quo, retaliation, and defamation. So we're going to talk about his departure from the city that was just over a year ago and what the allegations made are here, as well as a new document that just was unearthed last night after this report had already come to see the light of day. So a lot to unpack there, so buckle up. This is a wild one. On top of that, we're also going to talk a little about Hudson County Executive Craig Guy hosting his first, or I should say delivering his first State of the County speech. He did that, of course, at the county building, 567 Pavonia Ave. Talked about his listening tour and some affordability initiatives, among other things, so we'll chat a little bit about that. We're also going to discuss what's going on in Jersey City. They are going to vote on their preliminary budget tonight. It's $724 million with a 1.93% tax increase. Though there was a little bit of dismay at the caucus meeting about what's going on with the Public Safety Department, so we're going to chat about that. We're also going to talk about what's going on with the Hudson County Democratic Organization. The current chair, Anthony Veneri, will not be seeking a second term. You probably know who is, but we'll get to that and a whole lot more right after this word from our sponsors.
Pinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Pinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Hudson County View live and uncut, John R. Heinis. So let's unpack this lawsuit. While it's only 20 pages, as I said, it's a real bombshell. It's pretty explosive, and the numbers don't lie, as the old saying goes. I mean, just on Twitter alone, we have a reach that's over 40,000 on this, not to mention, what organically happened on the website. It hit the Newsbreak app. Everybody's talking about it. It was in the playbook, prominently featured this morning. So let's just get to it. So Leo Pellegrini, May 3rd, 2023, there was this announcement, well, really lack thereof, but the city confirmed that Pellegrini had resigned after 14 years of service. There was no real explanation. Former Mayor Dawn Zimmer, who hired Pellegrini, thanked him for his service, and there was really not much from the city other than confirming he was departing and his duties would be split among a few other sub-directors. Now, with that, there is just a whole smorgasbord to unpack. So let's just dive in. In January 2020, at a meeting with Mayor Ravi Bala, Vijay Chudhuri, Chief of Staff, Stephen Marks, then Business Administrator of the City of Hoboken, Jason Freeman, then Assistant Business Administrator and later Business Administrator of the City of Hoboken, and plaintiff, Mayor Bala presented a list of the city's employees, stating that he wanted to know which employees, if laid off, could potentially hurt him politically. Mayor Bala turned to plaintiff saying, "You know the bodies," and told plaintiff to identify which employees could hurt him politically if laid off. So obviously, straight out the gate firing. And if you guys recall, at that time, there were 26 municipal employees laid off, And the city said that many of them were brought back, though I wasn't able to get any concrete details at that time. Now, he also mentions that as the Health and Human Services Director, he was in charge of COVID testing and later vaccinations, and of course also managing the pandemic in terms of what businesses can open, what activities can be held outdoors, and also capacity limits and all that we remember in the early days. And he said throughout all that, he didn't get any stipend, he didn't get any salary increase. Basically, all he got was a data boy. So with that said, it gets really, really crazy. He said that the cannabis board that he served on in Hoboken, it was a 3-member board. It was him, Freeman, Third Ward Councilman Mike Russo. Now, he's also claiming that he was at a meeting with Bala, Cheturi, John Allen, who's now the assemblyman. And, he's making these allegations that the Nature's Touch lost their medicinal license application. It was rescinded essentially because they wanted to help out Mayor Fulop. As you guys have read and have seen, Story Dispensary on 14th Street, one of the landlords is Jacqueline Fulop, Stephen Fulop's wife. And he said a similar thing happened when he was working with a guy, Joseph Castiello, who was a good friend of Essex County Commissioner Brendan Gill and his wife, Allison Colasos Gill, who is now an assemblywoman. And again, he said favoritism in play. He said Bala leaned on the scales to try to help politically connected people. Now, this goes on for quite a while. And when we get to the actual point where, actually, before I get to that, and then there's also a memo, allegedly, I should say a meeting that came where a directive was given by Cheturi and Freeman, allegedly, that said, from now on, directors can't speak with Councilwomen Tiffany Fisher or Jen Giattino. So, and then there was an email from a city engineer and Tiffany Fisher that indicated that they weren't able to speak. So there's a lot going on here, as I think is quite clear. And then we also talk about this $20,000 contract to the law firm of New Jersey First Comptroller, Matthew Boxer. That was Lowenstein Sandler. And I got a copy of this May 1st memo, and it says that there is reasonable cause to believe that the director engaged in unlawful corrupt conduct in the course of his city employment. And this was apparently referred to the New Jersey Attorney General's Office of Public Integrity and Accountability. And city spokeswoman Marilyn Baer told me that this has been referred to the FBI. So to say that this is a lawsuit that has a lot going on would be a real understatement. I strongly suggest you read the story and the full complaint, which is available on HudsonCountyView.com as well as my Twitter. And we're certainly going to follow what happens if this makes it to discovery, if any new defendants are named. And, I'm sure elected officials are going to opine on this for the coming days. So certainly going to keep our eye on that. But moving on to government-related issue, which is going to talk about that State of the County by Craig Guy. And, those of you that have seen these under Tom DeGee's, it wasn't anything that was wildly shocking, but he did announce something that I have not seen before, and that's a 12 municipality listening tour. So all 12 Hudson County municipalities, Craig Guy is pledging to go there and hear from residents. He says that feedback is important. So if you watch the speech, it wasn't too long, it was about 20 minutes. And he said feedback will be a hallmark of his administration. I'm paraphrasing, but direct quote was, "That's why today I'm announcing a listening tour in each municipality to give every resident a voice in Hudson County. Over the next several months, I'll be traveling throughout the county to host conversations with residents, business owners, religious leaders, and others to gain insight into county concerns. I'm proud to announce the first of these events will take place on May 23rd in Jersey City." He also said he's going to make good on his campaign promises to make Hudson County more affordable and focus on housing stock. And he talked about how they already have online and physical applications available for anyone who is in need of housing. So that's something to keep an eye out for if you know anyone that is in need. And also, he talked a lot about traffic safety and what they've done with the Vision Zero Task Force. So there's a little more there, but pretty straightforward government. We're going to talk about the nitty-gritty politics there with the county chair a little bit. But first, when we come back from this break, I'm joined with Mile Square Taxpayers Association Executive Director Ron Simoncini. So we're going to sit down with him right after this word from our sponsors.
Pinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. the right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John R. Heinis, and as I mentioned a few moments ago, today my guest is Mild Square Taxpayers Association Executive Director, Rod Simoncini. Rod, thanks for coming in.
How are you, man?
Very good, thank you.
Good to see you.
You too.
Back on TV.
All right, well, glad you're excited about it. So let's talk a little bit about this referendum. So let's just dive right in. So at the last council meeting you were at, you had 5th Ward Councilman Phil Cohen put up this emergency resolution, and they said that the tactics you guys are doing are
Deceptive, they said.
deceptive. Yes, perfect. And, it failed 5-4, but, he's doubled down. He sent out a newsletter. Mayor Ravi Bala said this in his State of the City address. They're going to do everything they can to fight against these dishonest tactics to enrich the rich and make the poor more poor. I'm paraphrasing, but tell me how you feel about all this and why you feel that that's not true.
Well, it's a huge policy shortcut to say that anything is happening in Hoboken that is going to deprive any existing tenant of any of their rights right now. As far as the tactics used to generate signatures on the referendum, the canvasser said correctly to voters, this referendum will result in contributions to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. That is absolutely true. This referendum will create greater equity in rent control ordinance. That is absolutely true. The statute requires that we hand the person the signature pad. It says in the top of it what the whole ordinance is. It has the interpretive statement right there. It has the ordinance available upon request. It's exactly what voter referendum is about. Phil doesn't like the policy issue. He doesn't like the talking point. He doesn't like the fact that they're losing control over the conversation about housing in Hoboken, but they deserve to lose it. The purpose of referendum is when the council shows itself to be inconsiderate or not have the voter's interests at heart. The voter can come in with a committee of 5 people and say, we now have to come before you and say, we're the government. That's what these members of these 5 committee petitioners have done, and they're completely legitimate people, and they've got a completely legitimate cause, and their signature collection was right down the middle. So Councilman Cohen, say what he wants. This thing's going to the ballot.
Fair enough, and as I would expect it to, but not to harp on it too much, but we have seen some people online, like Hoboken Weekender, for example, pretty popular account. I think he's got like 15,000 followers or something. Certainly not a fan of the administration. And we've seen people like him say, hey, like these deceptive tactics happened to me or my friend or my
Yeah,
brother.
but then the person who did that didn't even sign the petition themselves, A. B, they never read it because they misrepresented what it said. It doesn't affect any existing property owner. I'm sorry, it doesn't affect any existing tenant. And he said this will make it so that existing tenants have higher rents. Completely untrue.
So let's unpack that.
You get the vibe, you get the hype, and then somebody says, oh, let me tie into the hype. But they don't even read the thing? Come on.
All right, so let's unpack that. So basically, just give me the elevator pitch, if you will, the A to Z of what this referendum says and what it does, if approved.
So what Hoboken's elected officials will tell you is that somehow they're preserving affordable housing by sustaining the current rent control ordinance. It's totally untrue. When an apartment vacates, there's no means test for the person coming in. Nobody judges the application for a vacant apartment by saying, let me give it to the person who can least afford it. They give it to the person who can most afford it, despite what the rent is. So you've got a rent control ordinance that's providing tenants who don't need subsidies with $800 and $1,000 rents. All the referendum does is says, when that apartment is vacated, let's encourage the property owner to improve the apartment. Let's let it go to someone who can afford that apartment, and then once they rent it, they fall under rent control. It's good policy. What the policy is now is to say, let's say that we're doing something for affordable housing because we're constricting the rent someone can pay when the person can clearly pay more, and when the housing stock actually ends up being a compromise as a result of the current policy. So it's really easy, it's a shortcut, it's a chicken McNuggets approach to policy and housing, and these guys deserve to be on the ballot, and we deserve to succeed here, which would realign the Hoboken affordable housing policy. It would create money from these rent-controlled units because an owner would have to make a contribution to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund in order to get a vacancy decontrol on the apartment. That assures that there will be money to build affordable housing. If you look at state grants, federal grants, the city's financing, our referendum will result in somewhere between 400 and 700 units of affordable housing constructed over a 7-year period.
And how are we defining affordable housing here?
We're going to make the affordable housing completely at the suggestion of the council itself. The council itself passed an affordable housing plan to redevelop the housing authority site. I would assume this money would go to capitalize that plan.
All right.
And their plan says low, moderate, upper moderate, so that they have a mix of incomes in the future housing. They'll take all the tenants that they have in the current housing authority, move them into new housing, consecutively build across their platform, and then welcome in people who are firemen, policemen. Imagine, you can't get a cop who lives in Hoboken because he can't afford it. Their plan would accommodate that.
What kind of rent prices are we talking? Any clue?
It's going to be governed by the Council on Affordable Housing and their affordability standard, which ties into or corresponds to median incomes in Hudson County.
Very good. Ron, don't go anywhere. Folks, don't go anywhere either. We're going to be right back right after this break.
Panepinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panepintodevelopment.com. Panepinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunnelly Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John R. Heinis, and I'm still here with Mile Square Taxpayers Association Executive Director Rod Simoncini. So, Rod, I do want to unpack a lot of the finer points, hopefully all of them, but of course we have limited time. But with that said, there are rent and tenant advocates that have said this is inevitably going to force out poor people. So, what do you say to that?
So I think New Jersey has the most stringent tenant protection laws in the country. If someone in Hoboken says, we want a greater level of harassment protection for tenants, I would be all for it. I'm not afraid of that. No property owner is afraid of that. The issue here isn't, will we throw out the existing tenancy? Those people are protected, and certainly there is consequences if you mess with them. I don't see that as a problem.
All right, so you think this is just knee-jerk reaction?
I think there's politics. I think, look, tenants have been coached to say, I'm vulnerable, and therefore I'll leverage my position. Have they been coached to realize that if the other units in the building that vacate are improved and the common areas are improved, they get all those benefits and their rent continues to be discounted? Like, that's what we should be telling tenants, not that they're vulnerable.
So the way the question is written today, there is no provision or interpretation, as far as you could see, that would lead to people being forced out.
I don't believe so, no.
Okay.
And by the way, this is not our first referendum. We've worked in other cities before. We've never heard that complaint. So the fact that we've never heard that complaint, except in these innuendo situations, very apocryphal sorts of stories, but no cases, no arrests, no lawsuits. Come on.
Fair enough. So now let's, again, let's try to, go beneath the surface, if you will. So tell us, like, why do this at all? Well, obviously you talked about increasing the housing stock, opportunities for local employees like public safety, like teachers, but why are we going in this direction? Like, how is it beneficial for the property owner? And if at all, how is it beneficial to the renter?
So you have to set the amount that the property owner pays to vacancy decontrol an apartment at the right number. You can't make it so high that nobody does it, and you can't make it so low that you don't get the contribution to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. We think we've done it at the appropriate level. There's a lot of discussion around that.
And what's the number?
2,500. Keep in mind, in a referendum, it's a yes or no vote on a very simple question. The whole rent control ordinance, the whole regime in Hoboken needs to be reformed. But you can't ask the voter to consider 26 provisions in a referendum. You can only ask them to consider one. So this provision says, when the apartment's vacated, let's use it to create affordable housing. Who's it good for? It's good for the property owner who wants to improve their unit, who's got a long tenancy, somebody who's been there 20 years. They've got a $900, $1,000 rent. They move out. He'd be allowed to increase that rent to $1,200 under the current ordinance. That's not enough money to renovate an apartment in Hoboken, which costs between $25,000 and $100,000. So there's no way you get the housing stock improved. The other thing is, Hoboken's Rent Control Board itself is part of the genesis of this. They've said all condominiums are under rent control. Well, that means if I'm a condo owner and I want to rent out my unit, I've got to go back to the first rent. I've got to be regulated by the rent control office. I've got to supply each year. I'm a condo owner. I want to maximize the value of my investment. I want my housing, which has more value now than it did when I bought it, to reward me. There's 10,000 of those people in Hoboken. None of them have heard about this yet, because they very infrequently encounter this situation where they're going to find out that their property's been devalued by the vice chairman of the rent control board, who says all condos are under rent control, who happens to also be a Hamas sympathizer, and that's what she's using her talents to do. That's not where housing policy should come from in Hoboken. It should come from the group of 9 who sits in the council, and it should be administered by a mayor who has the city's best interest at heart. That's not happened in the Hoboken rent control regime in years and years.
So having said that, if I'm not mistaken, at the last meeting, Councilman Presenzano said, we're only here because Mayor Bala vetoed the compromise between yourself and people like Cheryl Fallick. So any thoughts on that?
Look, I think if I had my druthers, I would take all the things that Cheryl Fallick and I agreed upon and amend the rent control ordinance to include them. It's just too complicated to do by referendum. So instead, we're taking the easiest route to say, we can create affordable housing for you, let us decontrol our housing, and then the next tenant falls under rent control. So if it's affordable to you today, Likely it'll be affordable to you in 20 years and you can have a long tenancy without having to worry about fast escalating rents.
Can you give me a rough interpretation, I'll say, of what the question's going to say, and when are you guys going to be up at the ballot box?
We've covered it already. The question says, for $2,500, shall we allow a vacancy decontrol? When we allow that vacancy decontrol, all the other provisions of the Hoboken Rent Control Ordinance are in force. It's a simple question.
All right.
When will we be there? You know, when the ward elections, we decided to hold back from activity because we didn't want to end up being part of the politicking of that. We now have a congressional primary upcoming. We have 2,200 signatures, probably 2,300 signatures now on a requirement of 1,300. We have plenty of signatures. The call for people to revoke their petition signature has resulted in 3 people of 2,300 saying, I don't feel comfortable having signed. 3. We're going to the ballot.
So you think this summer, you think the fall, or it's up in the air?
Well, a lot has to depend on how the clerk certifies, how many days he takes to do it, what the County Board of Elections feels our window should be, whether the council invokes its right to negotiate with us to try to pull the referendum in favor of some other reforms. So essentially, you'll see us on the ballot sometime between the middle of July and the middle of September.
Ron, thank you so much.
Great being here. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We're not done yet. We'll be right back.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights. Your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights. Your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John R. Heinis. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with this Hudson County Democratic Organization and who's going to lead them. So, Anthony Veneri has been the chair for about 2 years. Notably, he endorsed Mayor Fulop of Jersey City, of course, for governor pretty early on, and that was about July of last year. And now it looks like the new Hudson County executive, Craig Guy, is poised to succeed him. We saw on Monday that Veneri endorsed Guy for the seat, as did Fulop, and then that was followed by New Jersey Democratic State Committee Chair Leroy Jones, as well as Governor Phil Murphy. So while there isn't even a date set yet for the HCDO reorganization meeting, it looks like this one's wrapped up like a package already. So let's take a look at what Veneri had to say. It has been my great honor and privilege to serve as the HCDO chairman for the past 2 years. Working together with all the county committee members, municipal chairs, and all the mayors, we built a stronger party that elected a new county executive, 2 new state senators, and 5 new assembly members. I would like to thank all 12 mayors for their support, particularly my mayor, Nick Sacco, for his enduring confidence in me to lead our party. Craig Guy has worked alongside me these past 2 years and represented the HCDO on numerous occasions, and I am proud to endorse Craig to succeed me as HCDO chairman. He has earned this honor, and I know he will work hard to keep the HCDO one of New Jersey's strongest and most unified county democratic organizations. So a pretty full-throated endorsement as far as endorsements go. And again, it would just be a real stunning surprise to see anybody else enter this contest. Usually the reorg meeting is 1 week after the primary, and we know that that's on June 4th, so we're going to keep our eyes on that. We're also going to talk a little local politics for a moment. I guess this is more government, but, kind of interchangeable. So, we saw at the caucus that the Jersey City Council called for more transparency from the Public Safety Department. As you guys know, and as I mentioned at the top of the program, they're going to be voting on this budget at $724,219,250.40. That's a 1.93% tax hike, according to Finance Director Carmen Gandula. And, it's a pretty normal caucus. There wasn't too much going on, but then we heard from Ward F. Councilman Frank Educational Gilmore, and he asked Public Safety Director James Shea about the 911 dispatch study the council approved 13 months ago. And Shea noted that that's complete, and they're going to be implementing some of those suggestions. And as the meeting progressed, we heard from Ward C. Councilman Rich Baggiano, and as you guys know, he's a retired police detective. He was not too happy with the transparency of the department, and that concern was echoed throughout the meeting. He said, back in January, I asked your office, he's speaking to Shea, to give me information. I do not have to go to the business administrator. I want the questions answered. Over the weekend, I spoke to many of the cops. You have 50 cops that want to leave this job. 911 is a mess. Parking authority is a mess. I was a cop here for 36 years, and I have never, ever heard all of these complaints. If you guys didn't see, this spending plan proposal has 30 new 911 dispatchers being hired. And, we heard from concerns from Ward B Councilwoman Mira Prinzari, who also said that she had questions about off-duty police and didn't get any answers. And we also heard a little bit from the council president, who said that, a lot of frustration to go around, and basically a lot of people looking for answers that have not been given yet. So that meeting's tonight at 6 o'clock. And we're going to let you guys go on that note. Next week, I'm going to be tentatively joined by 8th District Congressional candidate Kyle Jacey. So we'll see you guys then. Have a good one.